Hey there, welcome to Going Nowhere Outdoors. And today I did go somewhere outdoors, but it got too cold. So I'm gonna make a little video now that I've got my coffee of quartering up a deer on opening day with a buddy. Got a doe over here, not me, he did. I'm just gonna take care of it, put it in the fridge here. So it's too cold. I'll probably go out and hunt some state land here in a couple hours when I'm done with this and get a chance to warm up. But I've got my coffee and I'm in a nice garage here. It's about 40 degrees, 41 degrees, and follow along. I wear gloves when I do it. Some people don't. Could possibly pick up something from the deer, not likely, but makes cleanup an awful lot easier and keeps my hands warm. So I wear gloves when I'm gutting them, when I'm dealing with any animal, just in case, because you don't always know. But in this case, nice healthy doe, I'm gonna keep my hands clean. So the first part of the deer that we work on would be the front shoulders, which are usually pretty easy to take off. This deer's been dead now for couple days and it's pretty chilled and stiff, so it's not as easy when they're fresh, freshly harvested. They come off, there's no bone socket, it's all just muscle that holds it on. You remove some of this fat here, and what you end up seeing is the edge of the cartilage that makes up the shoulder on the end of the scapula. Once you get that, you're golden. But you have to be careful not to cut into the back strap, back loin, whatever. So I like to make a little bit of more room in the fridge by removing the shanks from the shoulder. And if you cut up here and follow along here, you can easily remove it. And it's just a little bit of knife work. Normally what I do is I have some deer processing tubs or meat tubs, then I put them in the fridge. And then they're good for days. You can age them in whole muscle groups with the quarters right in the fridge. I keep looking that way because the fridge is there. But in this case, we're gonna put them in the garbage bag and they can get to it here over the next couple of days. All right, so what I do next when I take those off, if it's a bigger deer and I'm able to save the neck roast, eventually I'll be taking that. But I'll remove the abdomen area, the flank, the skirting here. I'll take that out and I'll take out the tenderloins. Then I'll clean up the back and I'll take out the back loins. So the tenderloins are two pieces of meat on the interior of the body cavity of the deer. They're back here where the short ribs are, they start, and they actually are hidden. They're hidden by silver skin and cartilage, and up here, they go way up, essentially into the bottom part of the inner thigh. So you can only see maybe a few inches of them here on this doe, but if you cut them correctly and they're not damaged, then you can get a few more inches on each side at least. Probably, well, we'll see. I'll take one out and I'll show you. Most of the tenderloin you can pull out with your hand once you cut it at the top or the bottom. And it's the best way to do it. So if you can pull it out with your hand, then you're not cutting off sections of it. All right, so this is actually it, and this is one of the best pieces of the meat. Very tender. Can do an awful lot of stuff, but basically just frying this up and little medallions is the best way to go. I'll trim it up, or I'll let him trim it up, but I'm basically gonna neaten it up here, get some of the fat tissue and blood off it. And this is the first part of the deer I typically will be doing something with. All right, the next step I do, take off the back loin as far as you can up into the neck, all the way up into right about here. All right, here's back loin. Great piece of meat. It's what everybody seems to be after. All your friends ask for back loin if they can get it. And I tell them go hunting. No, I'm kidding. I give out so much deer meat. I'm gonna redact that because I don't want people thinking that I give away all the deer and asking me. Highly coveted. All right, so this actually is the rest of the hind quarter minus the shank up there, the leg. This part right here is the top round, and this fatter squatter piece over here is the bottom round, and I'll separate these out. I'll keep these two together, and then maybe after they're trimmed, I'll show you. Good section of meat. All right, normally I take these off one at a time, but it seemed to come off fairly easy that way together. Top round and the bottom round. In between those two, right in the very center, you have to trim and remove a gland that's down in here to preserve the quality of the meat. Okay, these are actually probably my favorite part of the deer because of the versatility of them. You can take these and bone out the meat, put them in your grind pile, or you can keep these whole. I typically keep the shoulders and the shanks whole, and then I'll do a braised dish. I'll take 2 rear shanks and a front shank, or 2 rear shanks and a shoulder, Depends on how big I want the meal to be. And then I'll take this shoulder and I'll braise them for 5-6 hours in my oven with veggies, and there's a whole big process, but pull the meat off and it comes out in sections that you can use in a pot roast with those veggies and the gravy, and that'll be the first night's meal. And then after that, all the shredded venison that's left over ends up getting used in pulled meat sandwiches with barbecue, so like pulled pork but pulled venison on rolls, or in soups. You can freeze the shredded meat and use them later. I use them in tacos. It's usually my next meal. I'll get 3 or 4 or 5 meals out of one shank recipe, and it's super easy. It's prep it, put it in the oven, don't worry about it for X number of hours, you just gotta check on the liquids, and then take it out and enjoy. So